For the horizontal axis on the left hand side, you have best selling ingredients because the axis is about ingredients. And on the right hand side of the horizontal axis, you have new ingredients. So this will give you four quadrants: best selling product category and best selling ingredients, best selling product category and new ingredients, new product category and best selling ingredients, and new product category with new ingredients. The whole objective, like I said, is you have to empathize with the buyer, and your chances of success both with the buyer and consequently with the consumer increase the more you connect what the buyer knows to what she doesn't know. Because you have to instill confidence in the buyer, make a business proposition, like I said earlier, which we covered in the above checklist.
Welcome to What Beauty Founders Don't Know, a podcast formerly known as Jumpstart. Here, women-led, early-stage beauty brands learn counterintuitive insights to accelerate their profitability and revenue to $20 to $50 million and even $100 million without spending a fortune on ads, influencers, and reckless distribution. With your host, Rohit Banota, ex-P&G and founder of Toronto-based Jump Accelerator. Together, let's create a more conscious, humane, and beautiful planet. A woman's world. Don't forget to subscribe, click the bell notifications, and leave a review.
Well, this is the product development / pitch strategy for specialty beauty retailers, which is the topic of today's podcast episode. Your product introduction strategy for a beauty retailer is most likely to succeed if you follow a specific checklist and empathize with the buyer. There are 4 points in the checklist. The first is the product development pitch has to align with your goal for the retailer, and that also depends on your place within the retailer's category. Your relationship with the retailer, beauty retailer, could be a top 20% store brand, a store growth brand, which is not in top 20%, and a store aspirant brand, meaning you want to start selling to this beauty store. The second point in the checklist is the product development pitch must demonstrate an understanding of the retailer's category and its development. Do you know the product gaps for specific problems and solutions? For example, for a skincare brand, does the pitch align with skin concern, skin type, age, and price gaps in a retailer's skincare category? The third point in the checklist is the product development / pitch must show your brand as the best solution to the particular gap. For example, for a skincare brand, is that your brand's strength? If you target a gap for sensitive skin or a particular skin concern with a specific type of formulation like a serum, cream, gel, etc. The last point, the fourth point, is the pitch must instill confidence in the buyer. The above happens when you connect what the buyer knows to what she doesn't know. There is always some perceived risk in a new brand or product, and you must reduce this perceived risk for the buyer. One way you could leverage the above checklist for specialty beauty retailers is with a product ingredients matrix. You can use the above matrix to strategize new product development or pitch new products to a retailer, whether you're an existing top brand within a retailer store, a brand looking to grow within the retailer or the store, or a beauty brand looking to start selling to the beauty retailer or store. You could also create matrices for brand product benefits and claims or factor all in one. It's important to create a structure or framework to decide what will be your strategy when you want to succeed with the retailer, whether it is to sell in, whether it is to grow within the category, or whether it is to protect your leadership position. This matrix uses skincare as an example category. However, you can create similar matrices for any category, whether makeup, hair, body, fragrance, or other. Every quadrant has a different goal and strategy. So let's start with the matrix. Think of 2 axes, a vertical axis and a horizontal axis. On the vertical axis, you have product category, and on the horizontal axis, you have ingredients. Now, the vertical axis, the bottom part of the vertical axis is best selling products, product categories. The top part of the vertical axis is new product categories. For the horizontal axis on the left hand side, you have best selling ingredients because the axis is about ingredients. And on the right hand side of the horizontal axis, you have new ingredients. So this will give you four quadrants: best selling product category and best selling ingredients, best selling product category and new ingredients, new product category and best selling ingredients, and new product category with new ingredients. The whole objective, like I said, is you have to empathize with the buyer, and your chances of success both with the buyer and consequently with the consumer increase the more you connect what the buyer knows to what she doesn't know, because you have to instill confidence in the buyer, make a business proposition like I said earlier, which we covered in the above checklist. Let's start with the first quadrant: best selling product category, best selling ingredients. This is the bottom left quadrant. What kind of brand is this a fit for? This strategy, where you pick the best selling products on the bottom left quadrant, fits store aspirant brands that want to sell into beauty stores. The gaps they can exploit with the example of skincare are skin concerns, skin type, age, and price gaps. The goal, like I said, is placement. Strategy will be a story. Store aspirant brands can use the same best selling ingredients as the best selling products at the store currently, but packaged within a distinguishing brand story to wow the buyer who already knows the ingredients and that the product type slash category works at her store or account, etc. For example, a store like Sephora has a massive gap in sensitive skin solutions within the anti aging category. The best selling products in this category are wrinkle serums and creams with retinol and peptides. The buyer has immense confidence in the above. You could use the same ingredients or improve the formulation for the same product categories like wrinkle serums and creams, but create a new brand story. So your chances of placement within Sephora, retailer slash store, and movement from the shelf will significantly increase. This is a fit only for store aspirant brands, because if you're already a best selling product there and you're using the best selling ingredients, you need not worry about it much. And if you're a store growth brand, meaning a beauty brand that is present in the retail store but has to grow, you already are present in your product categories and you are not in the best selling product categories. You have to enter those categories and you already have your ingredients. So there's no way you can come up with new ingredients to with the same products that you have and then try to penetrate and grow within the store. It is not a best fit strategy for you. The second quadrant, best selling product category, you pick the best selling product category and now you go for new ingredients. So this is for store aspirant brand and store growth brand. I just spoke how store growth brands are not a fit with the bottom left quadrant, which was best selling product with best selling ingredients. The gaps that you can exploit, again, you have to exploit the gaps if you have to make a compelling pitch to the buyer. Skin concern gaps that are not being addressed by the brand in the store currently, skin type gaps, age and price gaps, the target consumer, let's say for older women, or it could be Gen Z, or it could be the latest generation that is coming up now, whichever is the gap that no beauty brand is trying to cater to is what you have to pick. And it could also be a price gap. The goal for the store aspirant brand is placement. The goal for store growth brands that are present inside the store in the category, but they're not leaders. They're not in the top 20% of the products. So they have to penetrate. That's their goal. Strategy, story slash trend. So store aspirant or growth brands already with new ingredients or willing to source new ingredients versus the current bestsellers product ingredients, and compare effectiveness pros cons with clinical consumer studies to convince the buyer, and or with a story around the trend toward new ingredients. I'm taking the example of anti-aging skincare category in Sephora. You could launch lightweight, which is a Sephora focus right now, lightweight wrinkle serums with ingredients different from peptides and retinol, but show proof of performance with data and studies, or create a brand story around a trend like blue beauty, just as an example, that involves new ingredients like algae derivatives, for example. So, this is how you can pitch successfully for store aspirant brands, beauty brands, and for store growth brands, which are already present in the retailer but are not in the top 20%. This is a strategy you can use for penetrating the category. Now, the third quadrant, which is about new product category, this is the top left quadrant in the matrix, new product category with the best selling ingredients. This is a fit for top store brand or growth brand. So brands that are already inside the store. Again, the gaps to exploit: skin concern, skin type, age, and price gaps. These are a few gaps that you can exploit. We can have many more gaps, but these are good enough to start with. Goal: protect, flank for top store brand. They have to protect their leadership position. And to lead or penetrate is for the store growth brand. That is their objective. Strategy: incremental story slash trend. Customize your best selling ingredients. You could even look at best selling ingredients outside of the retailer store, your brand, that align with your brand and product development strategy. For new skin concerns, type, age, price, and formulation gaps to flank out competition. In the stores category, let's say anti-aging skincare category, whether it's a product format gap, whether it's a skin concern gap, a skin type gap, a certain kind of product is not available for a certain age group of people, etc. And then you have to prioritize which are the gaps that you should go first. The bigger gaps obviously will go first, and the gaps that can take your core consumer away. What you do is, if you're one of the top Sephora store brands, for example, with the example of Sephora in the anti-aging skincare category, you could look at all the product formulation skin concern gaps, such as there are hardly any neck serums, night creams, etc., or there are no products for acne and blemishes within the anti-aging skincare category. Then prioritize the most attractive options and evolve, benchmark your best-selling ingredients formulations to launch new products to flank out competition and protect your lead. So this is a strategy which is extremely relevant, especially for top store brands. Now the final fourth quadrant, which is the top right quadrant, is where you have both new product categories that you're going after inside a retailer, and you're also introducing absolutely new ingredients. This will apply both to store aspirant and store growth brands. Again, the same gaps that you can exploit: skin type, concern, age, and price gaps. The goal is placement or penetration. And here you'll have to create a disruptive story slash trend, is what the strategy will be. Store aspirant and growth brands can develop new ingredients formulations to launch with current product category gap, new product categories, so to say, or absolutely new product categories too, backed by clinical studies and placed in skin concern formulation skin type price gaps. The story will help overcome ingredient skepticism, both with the buyer and eventually the consumer. For example, Josie Maran, a new brand at Sephora, launched argan oils based skincare products with a new product ingredient format and an umbrella brand story around argan oils and science. To summarize, before you pitch your beauty brand to a retailer, learn the category organization, gaps within the category, how your solution fits with the gap, and how will you build buyer confidence. You could accomplish this by using a tried and tested combination of best-selling products ingredients with a new story trend, or best-selling products with newer, better ingredients backed by claims. Again, if you're thinking of introducing a new product to the retailer or are already on the shelves, think of the strategic objectives you're trying to accomplish. If you're a top brand within the retailer, you could use a flanking strategy to plug any substantial gaps within the category and protect your leadership position. If you are a retailer growth brand, you need a penetration strategy, meaning if you're not in the top 20%, your first objective is how can you penetrate the existing categories that you're present in. And you could do so by launching best-selling products with newer, better ingredients backed by claims and a story trend. Both retailer growth and retailer aspirant brands can go the disruptive route. Why I am not recommending disruptive route for top retailer brand? Because they've already penetrated. They're in the top 20% of their category. Why should they launch a disruptive brand and take the risk of again vying to become the number one in that particular category and cannibalize their existing products? So for them, flanking, protecting their leadership position is the number one priority. And with that, they can also look at penetrating within the product categories where they are not number one. So then they could be just like store growth brands in the categories they are not in the top 20%. Both retailer growth and retailer aspirant brands can go the disruptive route, creating totally new products that either fill a big gap within the category or are a pure new addition to the category, new category with absolutely new ingredients, ideally backed by performance claims. This can take a bit of work to convince the buyer if you do not already have amazing traction for the product outside of the retailer. Are you a beauty brand that is looking to protect its leadership position within retail, whether it is Sephora, Ulta, Credo, Blue Mercury, Neiman Marcus, Nordstrom, Detox Market, or any independent beauty retailer or any other retailer, even if it's Walmart, Target, CVS, etc.? Or you're a beauty brand that wants to grow inside the retailers and become a top retailer brand? Or are you a beauty brand that is looking to get placement inside beauty retailers that wants to start selling in to beauty retailers? Any of these scenarios, you can reach out to us. You can reach out to me. My email ID is rohit@jumpaccelerator.com. You could even go to jumpaccelerator.com and book a discovery call with me. You could go through the blogs. There's also an article that I've written on the same where you can go and check out the matrix that I spoke about so you get a better understanding of the strategies that you can use. So please feel free to go check out the articles on our site, listen to more podcast episodes where I talk about retail, tribe strategy, how to succeed, how you can create an amazing story, what kind of accelerators you can look at. I have covered strategy, story, creating your 6x profitable super fans, etc., both in my articles and in my podcast episodes. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to this What Beauty Founders Don't Know podcast for amazing guests and insights on growing your beauty brand. Visit jumpaccelerator.com and take the quiz to find out how ready you are to make the jump to $20 to $50 million plus dollars. And above all, don't miss out on your free online course taken by hundreds of successful beauty founders. Sign up for your free online course now. Till the next episode.